Hey there fellow creators, Ben here from Cinder Studios, and this week I wanted to do something that I don't normally do, which is hop on a little bit of a trend that's been going around art YouTube lately. Stick around. So I've seen a few other artists do videos like this, and while I don't normally jump on the bandwagon, this one did actually get me thinking, and that is the 5 art supplies I regret buying. So I really had to think about this one a little bit, because just looking around my studio, it's like, I'm happy to have basically everything I have. Like, it's not a matter of, oh, I really regret this. But then when I started really looking at my art supplies, I was like, you know, there are a few things that I probably could have bought a smaller volume of, or just not picked up at all. The first of these is some casein paint. I think anyone who's seen my channel in the past couple of years probably knew this one was coming. Probably didn't know it was going to be #1 though. These aren't in any particular order, but casein I bought specifically for a review. I actually was intrigued by the paint. I definitely wanted to try it out, so there is that. But I was expecting to like this a lot more than I did. I was honestly really disappointed with the just cost to value ratio on these. I know there's a lot of casein lovers and defenders out there. A lot of them exist in that the comment section of that review. But for me, it's like they didn't do anything for me that I thought was groundbreaking. They're not better than any other paints, and I was just like, yeah, all right. I might take them with me next time I remotely attempt something with plein air, but then again, next time I'm doing something with plein air, it's probably going to be to sit in my backyard with a tray full of oil paints, so probably not going to get much use out of these in the future. Next up, we have something that is starting to change a little bit, but it's still going to take me a while to get rid of, and that is a ridiculously large volume of linseed oil. A couple of years back, I had this tiny little bottle, nice little antique style Winsor & Newton linseed oil bottle. This was in my mom's art supplies when she was in college. It was like, I don't know, half full when I started messing around with it, and I ended up using it up. Like, I should get more of this oil. I've been using it a bunch. And like an idiot, I went to the store and I got one of the biggest volumes of linseed oil. It's a big plastic quart, basically. Might have been a pint, not sure. It's been like 10 years, because at a certain point, the plastic bottle that it was in started to like dent in and swell because the oil was oxidizing in the bottle, and I'm like, I have to move this to something that is a little less volatile. So I stuck that oil, most of it. I couldn't fit all of it in this. This is this was a bottle of Tin Cup whiskey that I had happened to just that day have sitting around empty, and I'm like, good, it's glass, we'll put it in that. And so this filled it all the way to the top, and then some. I still had extra linseed oil left over. And over the course of like 10 years, I have used this much. So probably about 2 of these worth in a 10-year period. And that's it. Granted, you guys know me, I'm an acrylic painter, I'm not an oil painter. Now, I have been leaning to using oils a little bit more lately. Not to replace my acrylics, but as a supplemental for various projects. But,
it's gonna last you for the rest of your life.
Alright, next up is a product that I picked up on a clearance sale at Blick's like 6 years ago, and that is some of this Derwent XL charcoal. Now, I'll be honest, I do like this stuff, but it is very, very, very rarely useful. This is a really cool set. It's got, you know, these varying earth tone colors, and it's actually mostly the white is the one that I've used the most. But used the most is a very generous term there. I do like playing around with these for varying sketches, but the fact that they're so thick and chunky means I can't really get a lot of detail with them. I'll jump into quick practice with them, pull them back and forth for mixed media. Actually, the project I'm working on, I might end up using them for. But for what they cost, I think they were like $24 for this set. Not worth the money at all. I pretty much never touched them except apparently today. The 4th art supply I regret buying is this giant wide brush from Liquitex. Now, like everything else on this list, yes, these things do have their uses in my studio. I will get to using them eventually. This brush in particular, though, I regret buying because I was going to get this and use it to varnish with. The problem with using this brush to varnish with is the bristles are just way too stiff for it. There's too much spring to them, which is weird to say. Varnish brushes should be really, really soft, and while these bristles are somewhat soft, when I try to varnish with them, it tends to kind of pull pull the varnish a little bit too much, and I need something more like a soft hardware store brush, which is actually usually what I end up using. You know, something cheap and simple like this, I found to be a lot more useful for varnishing and oil painting than this thing. Now, this brush is awesome, and I do use it. I've actually been using it a ton lately on sort of my larger scale acrylic pieces. They're great for spreading a lot of color around, specifically more liquid colors and fluid colors. But as far as a varnish brush, it's pretty useless.
Absolutely useless.
And the fifth and final art supply that I regret buying is, I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, acrylic gouache. Not necessarily because it's bad paint. It's genuinely not. I personally don't have a lot of use for it because it's still acrylic paint, and I've got 8 billion types of acrylic paint in the studio. Like, one more type does not make or break my painting experience. I bought this color theory set a long time ago, thinking that this was regular gouache, because I just looked at the pictures and the package, and it said gouache. I'm like, cool, gouache. I didn't know acrylic gouache was a thing. And then I got it home, and I looked at the package, and I think I was shopping with my friend that day, and she goes, oh, it's acrylic gouache. And I was like, wait, what? And this pack was like, it's 3 primaries, black and white, and I think it was like $45. And I got home and I'm like, wow, I bought the wrong shit. Cool. But aside from the primaries in black, the white I actually do use, and the white I have restocked. I find the white's really useful for stars and water lines and waterfalls and stuff like that, where I need a little bit flowier of a paint that accepts and mixes with water a little bit better than a traditional acrylic would. So I do use the white, but all these other colors, I never touch. And I probably could have gotten away with not buying them at all. Now, I just want to say as a general disclaimer for all of these supplies, again, none of these are bad supplies. I'm not saying don't go out and buy them, and if you like them, good for you. For me, they're not useful in my studio for the most part. I will find uses for them. Everything in my studio I find a use for. But my regular day-to-day stuff, I'm not reaching for these things. And they're things that if I could go back and unbuy, I would. But that said, there are ways to use anything that you have, even if you don't necessarily like it. There's tons of stuff in my studio that I don't really touch often, but every now and then I'll get that spark of inspiration and go, that thing I never touch is perfect for this idea. So even if you've got art supplies you regret buying, use them. Actually, it's an even more incentive to use your supplies as much as you can. Like, I didn't really want this, I didn't really like it, let's use the crap out of it. Let's use a ton of it, use it up, get it out of here, and then I never have to think about it again. So for my fellow creators out there, what are the supplies that you regret buying the most? I'm pretty sure there's going to be stuff in comments of lots of disagreements of like, oh, you regret that stuff's great, or oh, hey Ben, the casing's not that bad, or you don't use the acrylic gouache, you must be out of your mind. Remember that different art supplies work for different artists, different techniques, and different styles. Where one artist might regret a purchase, another artist might find it to be the most valuable thing they've ever picked up. It's all about the individual preferences and what works for them. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video or learned something or like hearing me talk about art supplies, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts in comments below. Check me out on socials in the description box. And this has been reminding you to keep on creating, stay inspired, and I'll see you guys next time.